So good morning all. So today we start the discussion for the test 3, which is also having modern India. In the tomorrow's test we'll have combination of post-independence and world history. Fine. So let us start with today's discussion. The first question is on social religious reform movement leader Jyotirao Phule. Enumerate the contributions of Jyotiba Phule to the 19th century social religious reform and evaluate the contemporary relevance of his ideas on social justice and education. Fine. Let us see what we can write. Again, in introduction, you will directly say that Jyotirao Phule is a low-caste leader coming from Maharashtra, and he fought for social justice for the lower caste people, as well as his contributions will be felt in the field of education. With this brief introduction, you can start writing his contributions with respect to the social reforms. The first and foremost aspect Jyotiba Phule did was his crusade against the caste discrimination. That is, he was one of the first reformers who raised his voice against the upper caste and the Brahmanical domination. He opposed this, and he also was promoting against upper caste. He is also suggesting that the lower caste people must become empowered. So that was the first area in which this man was trying to bring a change in the Indian society. Fine. And then second thing, he knows that you cannot simply elevate the lower castes by pulling the upper caste down. So what he wanted to do in order to elevate the position of the lower castes, he realized the importance of education as the tool for upliftment of the lower castes. And in fact, he was the first person. Yesterday we had seen there was a lady by name Savitri Bai Phule, who was his wife. And this man encouraged his wife Savitri Bai Phule to become India's first female teacher. And he also opposed the upper caste domination in the government jobs. So he felt that through education, lower caste people can uplift themselves and start gaining benefits from the modern government jobs and all these things. And he also opposed the upper caste domination in different ways. He had established an organization called the Satya Shodhaka Samaj. The English translation of this is that Truth Seekers Society. So he was trying to establish that we should not blindly follow something said by someone. We should always try to find the truth by ourselves. And that is an organization that was established by this man. And he also wrote an important book which is very famous, and his book is Gulam Giri. Now that word actually means nothing but slavery, English translation. Who is he trying to say that slaves, he's calling the lower caste are being treated like slaves in Africa and America. He's trying to draw a comparison between these people and trying to say that the only way these people can get out of slavery is by uplifting themselves. And you can also write one more point about this man is his contribution to increasing rationalism. And as I just now said, a truth seeker should not believe anything blindly. He or she must question everything. And that kind of a thing is called rationalism. That was also promoted very strongly by Jyotiba Phule. And he also is known for writing his theory on Aryan invasion on India. Although modern research in today's time has rejected the theory, but in those days, in 1870s, 1880s, when this man was active, he was writing about the theory of Aryan invasion and how Aryans came and they became the North Indians and they suppressed the South Indians and the lower caste people. That's what he was trying to portray. Although it is considered wrong today, in those time that theory was more accepted. So these are some contributions of this man towards the social religious reform movements in India. And if you talk about the impact or the relevance in the present times, you will simply say 2 or 3 points saying that yes, this man's fight against the discrimination of the caste system eventually motivated other lower caste leaders, like particularly like E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar from Tamil Nadu, and to some extent even B.R. Ambedkar from Maharashtra. And eventually their struggle against the caste system has led to what you call as the affirmative action policy that we find in India after independence, or provision of some reservation for lower castes in political field, economic field, and employment opportunities. So this is one long-lasting impact of Jyotiba Phule's ideas in those times. The next thing you can say is in the field of education. As I just now said, he understood the only way that lower caste people can uplift themselves is through gaining access to education. And this also you will see that even today, Government of India has a lot of programs like, for example, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, the right to education. All these things can be said to be one long-lasting impact of the importance of education this man had emphasized when he was doing all these movements. And third, again the same, that importance of rationalism. Is rationalism important? If you'll see, the Article 51A of Indian Constitution talks about something called as fundamental duties, and inside these fundamental duties there is one duty which particularly communicates an important message to the people of this country, that they must cultivate what is called as scientific temper, or nothing but it is like scientific thinking. You should not believe anything blindly, you must question everything, and you should believe anything when you have a proof, logic, or evidence and reason. So in this way you can write a decent answer to say that these are some of the contributions made by Jyotiba Phule, as well as what are the relevance of this man's ideas to the present times. Okay. And again, generally I keep telling students, don't waste too much time on writing again some very lengthy conclusions. If you do not get any particular point to write a conclusion, you should kind of summarize the whatever you've written in the body and say that yes, this man's role highlighted the importance not just for getting freedom from the British rule, because freedom from British rule will only benefit some sections of Indian society. If that freedom has to be useful for all the sections of Indian society, he was highlighting it is not just political freedom from British rule, but also internal social reform to eliminate social evils present in the Indian society. In this way, you can simply write a decent conclusion and end your answer there.